Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. We got several people on the line. That link I just put on your screen will take you to a Google site that we put together to kind of put all the ECDS data into. And so if you want to click on that link or write that down so you have it as a reference, that's where we ask for all the feedback on what folks in your district were going to be participating in ECDS, as well as the download links to the tools, etc. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing at this point, you should have already downloaded the spreadsheets. If you were a Texas school, we pre-download those for you and put them out on the SFTP site for you to go access. However, after several debates back and forth, even if you've downloaded the one from us, you should download the latest version from TEA's website and then copy and paste the information over and use the latest spreadsheet. So on that sites link, the first link there is District SFTP site. That will take you into where we saved your files. So if you had a file out there, the ECDS collection, it's out there for you to download, pre-populated with all your data out of Texas. And then you should go download the latest spreadsheet from TEA, which is the ECDS collection template. And so I'm going to click that link. It's going to download. I'm just going to throw a quick copy on my desktop. Okay. So what's involved with you now that you have a spreadsheet done is you now need to convert the spreadsheet to an XML, verify that XML files are good, and then upload those XML files to TEA. And that's going to be the next process we're going to walk through. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go to the TIL login as yourself. And once you're logged into the system, then you'll click the Texas Student Data System portal. I've got access to more than one district, so you see more listed there, but you should only see your district. So I'm going to click that Texas Data System portal. Then I'm going to click the Utilities tab. And under the Utilities tab, you should see Download the Validation Tool. If you'll click that link, it's about a 51 meg file to download that to your computer. Once it's downloaded, you're just going to walk through the basic install using all the defaults. I've already installed on this computer, so I'm going to move over to a remote computer that I downloaded this to, and now I'm going to actually run the installation of the validation tool. So I'm going to run, you see it runs across, install 4J Wizard. Next, 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 and then it should finish the install. So just use the default. This application can be installed on any computer that the person's going to be running the files and the conversion. So it can be a desktop server, wherever you want to put this particular tool, and hit finish. And so that's all it is to download the validation tool and install it. So now that you've done that, now you need to convert the file. So the easiest thing first to do is create a folder. And so I just called mine ECDS uploads. You can call it whatever you want. And in that folder, you're going to put the spreadsheet that's been filled out with the following information. I'm just going to use the default data so that you can see it through the demo, because it has confidential information in it, so I can't really use a district. So you can kind of watch, but you want to put it in a folder, because wherever this file is, it's where it's going to throw all those XML files when it does the conversion. So launch the converter and validation tool, which should now be on your desktop with the computer you just installed it on. You're going to go to File, and you're going to use the conversion tool, because we're going to convert the spreadsheet. So you're going to select the school year, 2013-2014, the collection, ECDS, And then if you are not an early adopter, so unless you are Clifton, Troy, or Gulfway, you're going to select Kinder. Clifton, Troy, or Gulfway, you will collect Kinder assessment because your other data is already up there because you're an early adopter on the dashboards. So I'm going to choose Kinder, and then I'm going to click Browse. Go to my desktop, that folder I created. There's the template, and I'm going to click Open. So now it's loaded the template into the conversion tool, and now I'm going to click Process Files. It says complete, so I'm just going to close the conversion file. And now I'm going to go open that folder up to make sure that it did create those files. And notice now I have 8 XML files that were created from that spreadsheet. And so at this point, I'm done with the spreadsheet. I now have the XML files. So now I need to go to File, Validation Tool, select the school year, select Dashboard, and then Browse. I'm going to browse to that folder where those XML files are located. And then I'm going to click the first one and hold down my Shift key and click the last one because I want to select all 8 of those files. So again, click the first one, scroll over, hold down your Shift key, click the last one, and click Open. And it should now load 8 files into the validation tool. And now I'm going to click Process Files because right now they're not processed. So Process Files. It will go through and validate those files, and as long as everything is good, I will see passed all the way down. If any of these say failed, then I need to go back to the spreadsheet to figure out what is incorrect in the spreadsheet causing the file to fail. So at this point, it looks like everything's good. It all passed. So I'm going to close out of the validation tool. Okay. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to unmute anybody if anybody has any questions. Does anybody have any questions at this point?
Yes. This is Margaret May from Mahia.
Okay.
I think it is reserved, but I didn't get a chance to look at it last night, so give me like an hour to get off the phone call, and then I'll look.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to mute everybody again. Okay, I muted everybody, and I've allowed you to unmute yourself. So if you have a question, if you'll unmute yourself one at a time, because we have some people that have their phones live. Was that Margaret? Hey, Margaret, I unmuted you. Can you
Yes.
talk now?
Yes, Ed. If your files don't pass, is there any indication that it might tell you what the problem is?
Rita, I'm going to unmute you and let you kind of answer that one. Where is Rita?
Did you unmute me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I would imagine it does, because if you'll go back to where it said pass, if you can bring that back on your screen, it has details. So if one of them failed, you'd read that details, and hopefully it'll give an indication as to what the error is going to be. And then we'd have to look in the spreadsheet and find it and fix it.
Okay.
Not good. Okay. I'm going to get a little off task here and go download Notepad++. Once you start dealing with these XML files, you probably will want to install Notepad++ on your computer. And the reason is it makes it easier to read those XML files. I'm going to install this right quick. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and see if I can find somebody. That's probably not a good file to do with, since I don't know that one. All right, so this is a unique ID. I'm going to add some more numbers into it and save it. Interchange. So what I'm going to do is load that file that I just went in and change the unique ID beyond 10 digits. And so what that should do is cause this file to fail when we run it. Okay, so see where it said failed?
Yeah.
So I'm going to click on that and hit details, is what Rita was saying. And then here's my details, and it's telling me something's not valid on that particular one. And notice over here it tells me what line it is. It says line 4. And so that's why I like using Notepad++, because if I go find that particular file that failed, edit Notepad++, if I go down to line 4 with that line, it shows me there's the error. Does that answer your question, Margaret?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Are there any other questions? If you have a question, just unmute yourself. All right, then we're going to go ahead and move on. And these steps forward, we believe work. And I say believe as in, I know they work from what we're doing with the dashboards, but we've not got clarification from TEA that this is exactly what they want us to do. But we want to go ahead. I know many of you want to get this done and move forward, so we're going to go ahead and show you the next steps to go ahead and get the files uploaded to the dashboards. So at this point, I'm finished with the validation tool and the conversion tool. So I have the 8 files that I now need to upload to TEA. So I'm going to log into my till account. So let's get back out of that. So I'm going to go into the Texas Student Dashboards now that I'm in my till. And that's an extra step, so get me into a district. And at this point, I'm going to click the EDM data loads, and I'm going to manage my data loads. So this brings me into the data loader. And so I want to do the interchange upload. Now it created, remember back over here, 8 files. These 8 files need to be ordered, uploaded in a particular order. So if you go to that link I showed you earlier, the goo.gl, capital E199AI, that'll take you to our template website. And under there is a link called Steps. And if I click Steps, there's the order of the 8 files and what they need to be ordered in. So the first file I need to include is the education organizational extension. So unless you're a dashboard school, you should only see 2014 listed, so you won't have to select the school year. And then you're going to choose the first file. So you're going to navigate to your folder. And I'm going to choose that interchange education organization file and say open. And then I'm going to click upload. Now I'm not going to upload this file because this is a live district and that's not really a live file. So I'm not going to load that there so that that doesn't mess anything up. So I'm going to exit out. So just so you can see the complete process, I did grab a file that I can use with them. Interchange. Choose a file, desktop. Okay. So I've selected that one file and I'm going to click upload. Now, I will note we worked with the district yesterday. They were using Internet Explorer, and the files were not uploading. They switched over to Firefox, and the files uploaded. So if you have issues with one browser, you may want to try a separate browser. So I've selected the file. I'm going to click upload. And I'm getting an error because I've already uploaded the file once this morning. It's not going to let me do it again. But where it's going to move that file once it uploads it is into File Manager. And so there's the file. It's now been uploaded. And once it's uploaded, it starts to process. I should see a status of green. If I see a status of green, everything's good. That file is okay. And I no longer need to mess with that file on this side for TEA. And so I'll have 8 of those once I get all 8 of those files uploaded. If I see a red X or a yellow exclamation point, then there may be an issue with that file, and I'm going to have to figure out where it is. And then I have to start the whole process over. I have to go back to the spreadsheet, fix the file, run the conversion, take those files, re-upload it, and then check to see if it fixed the issue. And so that's the part we can try to help with, especially if you're a Texas school. We have it down pretty good. The other schools really do our best to try to work through any issues you're having. Okay. Once the files are uploaded and it's green, the last step you'll need to do in this is click and add to batch. And what that's going to do is move it over so it actually moves it over to the dashboard data. That's the one we're still getting clarification on from TEA on how they want us to handle that one. Like I said, we're a step ahead of them as far as getting this done. And then once it's been batched, the last step will be to identify whoever your approver for the ECDS is. We'll need to log into the system and do the approval. And we've not gotten instructions on that yet. So that person will need a TIL account and do those kind of steps. And so at this point, there's all there is to the data upload. I'm going to let those drop off that have it. I have recorded this. I'll send a link out of the recording. And then those that want to stay on, I'll walk back through it one more time for those that like to see me do it actually a second time through. So again, if you have any questions, you can just shoot a screen share or unmute yourself and ask a question at this time. All right, doesn't appear to be any questions, so I'll run through it one more time. Okay, for district. Okay, so I'm going to delete these files. All right, so let's run through it again. The first thing I need is the completed spreadsheet. Once I have the completed spreadsheet, the best thing to do is create a folder somewhere and move that spreadsheet into it. Then you're going to need to log into your TIL account. Log into TIL, click the Texas Student Data System portal. You're going to click the Utilities tab. And then you're going to download the validation tool. Once that tool is downloaded, you're just going to install it using all the defaults. So just run it and click next, 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 next until it's finished. And when you're done, you should have an icon on your desktop that says Converter and Validation Tool. You're going to launch the Converter Validation Tool. Go to File, Conversion Tool, and then select the defaults here, 2013, 2014, the ECDS collection, and then Kinder for, like I said, everybody except the 3 early adopter schools. You're going to choose Kinder. Then you're going to browse to where you put your spreadsheet. It's going to load the spreadsheet in. The status is not processed, so I'm going to say process file. And if there was no issues processing it into the XML files, it should say complete. And so now you can close the conversion tool. And I'm going to go over to the folder just to check and make sure that it created. Yes, there's 8 files it created. So now I need to validate that those files are good. So I'm going to do validation tool, 2013, 2014, dashboard, browse. Go to the folder where those files were created. Click the first one, scroll over, hold my shift key, and click the last one. That will select all the files. Then click open. It tells me the file sizes, and then it's not processed. So I'm going to process all the files. And at this point, they've all passed local validation, so the files are good for me to upload to TEA. So I'm going to close the validation tools. And now I'm going to go back to my TIL account, log back into my Texas student dashboards. And then the person that's going to upload this is going to be the EDM data load. I forgot to mention earlier, you're going to need the ODM data loader role. And so if you don't see managed data loads here, it's because you don't have that role and you cannot do the uploads. So it's going to require you to get permission in your district to get that role if you don't already have it. And Linda's sitting here, I believe most of the Teams people have already added that role to their TIL accounts. So I'm going to click the EDM data loads, manage data loads, interchange upload, and then I'm going to choose the files. And again, if the files don't upload, you might try uploading one at a time or try a different browser. And at this point, I really can't continue because I've already uploaded to that one district and I don't want to mess anything else up. So does anyone have any other questions? That's pretty much all there is to do, the conversion and the data uploads. And then we'll do a follow-up once we figure out the actual how they go in to do the final approval to make sure that the information's over to TEA.
Ed, this is Margaret May. Could you show me where you go again to do the validate files? How you went to there to do that in the utility?
Okay. First, under your TIL account, under utilities, you have to download the validation tool and install that on your computer.
Okay.
Okay, once that's done, then you'll have this little icon with an X and a check on it that says Converter and Validation Tool.
Okay.
You'll double click that tool and it says Conversion and Validation Tool, and then under the file menu, you choose which one you're going to do. Am I converting the XML file? Not XML, the Excel file, or am I validating the XML file? So the first step is to do the conversion tool. So I'm going to click that, and I'll just run through it again. So I'm going to open up the folder where I put the spreadsheet, and I'm going to delete these files. And so then I check the school year, the collection, and then you're going to choose Kinder.
Okay.
Make sure you don't choose Kinder Assessment. That'll give you the wrong data. You want Kinder.
Okay.
And then you're going to click Browse, and browse to where you save that spreadsheet inside that folder. And open. So it'll show you the spreadsheet, where it was located. It's going to take the Kinder sheet, and it's not processed. Now I'm going to say Process Files, and I'll leave this file open. As soon as it starts processing, it should start filling in that folder. And so there's the 8 files it just created from your spreadsheet. So that was the conversion part of it.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to close that and now go back to File and Validate, because now I need to check and make sure that that data in those XML files is good.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose Validate, select the year, select the dashboard collection, browse, go to that folder where those files got saved. And then if I click the first one, and then hold my Shift key, I can click the last one, and that highlights all of them.
Okay.
And click Open, and you should see 1 through 8. And they're not processed, so now I process those files. And as long as there was no errors in the formatting part of it, it should pass just fine. And then as we walked through earlier, if one of them failed, if you click on that, you can hit Details to see what kind of issue that file's having.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Do we have any other questions?
Give us that.
Say that again.
Yeah, now do it.
Can you give us that GU address again?
This, oh, yep, the GU address.
There it is.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, sensitive, you got it, okay. All right, okay, I've got it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Well, I think that's it. We're going to send a follow-up email out with some of this information and hopefully a recording of the video. And if you have any other questions, shoot me or Rita or Linda or any of us an email, and we'll do our best to help you along. Thank y'all.
Thank you.